Welcome back to Cryptos Are Us. I'm George. We're all George. So today, let's talk about bracing yourselves for 2024. Even though these last few days, a little rocky here or there, but Bitcoin is getting ready to explode. It's going to be epic in 2024. So let's talk about everything to expect, everything to look forward to in just a couple of days. Let's do it. Welcome, guys. I still don't have my market bell, but the market bell did ring. Ding, ding, ding. 8:30. Bitcoin is a little bit lower than yesterday. Right now, Bitcoin is having a hard time breaking above this 44 mark, right? So we've been going up and down, but basically, if you zoom out, yeah, we're still going sideways. And Bitcoin does this all the time, okay? If you zoom out, you realize, yeah, it does it all the time, but overall, that's pretty healthy. That's pretty healthy. It's getting ready to go higher. And there's several other things in play right now because we're at the end of the year, right? There's a big expirations coming for options and futures and so forth. But yeah, let me get to them. In terms of the overall market cap, still higher, although we're still seeing weakness on Sol, who dropped below 100. And same doing Avalanche. Avalanche showing even more weakness before under 40. But here's the thing, they have come up so much so fast, right? So now taking a slight dip is actually very healthy, just like Bitcoin. But there are many that are still going higher today. Ethereum is still up. BNB is still up. Cardano is still up. Chainlink is still up. So today, overall, we're off to a pretty good start. The overall market cap is still in the green. But this is going to be nothing compared to what we have coming in 2024. In terms of overall U.S. market right now, not looking, kind of flat too, right? Overall kind of flat. But the good thing is Bitcoin's correlation with tech stocks now have turned negative since 2020. Remember the decoupling that so many people have asked for? Jesus, welcome. Why does Bitcoin correlate with NASDAQ or S&P, right? That's no longer the case. Since 2020, we had this correlation, and now we don't, which is, I don't know, in some ways good, some ways I guess not so good. When the U.S. market is rallying, of course, we would love to see Bitcoin rally, and sometimes it's annoying to see it not rally when the U.S. market is rallying. But on the other hand, when the U.S. market turned red and deep red and Bitcoin's rallying, that's a very good thing. And we have seen that quite often in 2023. And in terms of Bitcoin-related stocks, a lot of you guys have been asking about mining stocks. Like Mara and Riot, they are doing very, very, very well. But also other Bitcoin-related stocks like Coinbase just formed a 52-week high yesterday. MicroStrategy formed a 52-week high yesterday. Anything that's related to Bitcoin are surging right now, and that's not going to stop in 2024. It's not going to stop in 2024. Okay, it's only going to accelerate. I don't know what it is. Let's look at it real quick. Like Coinbase and HUD and Mara's taking a breather today, but man, they kept going. We'll see if they could turn around tomorrow. Later today or tomorrow. But what else? Marathon Digital becomes the most traded stock of the day, even more so than Tesla, Apple, and Amazon. That's pretty amazing if you think about it. There are a lot of people that are really into Bitcoin miners because they know the halving event is coming up in April, and they know that the Bitcoin miners, they're just, they just keep hashing away. And, one day they're going to be like, you know, I don't know like how to say it exactly, but you know how like the Middle East controls so much oil. You got all those oil tycoons over there, right? These Bitcoin miners are going to be the same way. They're going to be so large and so rich with holding so much Bitcoin in the future. That's how it's going to be, right? It's like the new oil, I guess, so to speak, right? Even though compared to gold would probably make more sense, but you guys get the picture. What else? Ark Invest, they offload our GBDC shares because they're coming out their ETF. It just doesn't make any sense, and I think there's a conflict of interest there also that you can't be holding it. I don't know. It just gets confusing, right? If they have their own ETF and then they're still holding GBDC, which is going to be a ETF too, it's going to be converted. So, I mean, there's definitely some weirdness going on. I don't know if there's any rules that prohibits that, but, you know, that's why Kathy would decide to sell. Sometimes she sells and it makes sense. And sometimes she sells and it doesn't make sense. Or maybe it makes sense to her. Like, often she'll sell Coinbase to buy Robinhood. And it's clear that Robinhood is not as strong as Coinbase. But she does that often. And sometimes it costs her a lot. I don't know. But this time it does make sense. But anyways, she's still a very big Bitcoin bull, regardless, thinking that Bitcoin will go to $1.5 million possibly by 2030, which is the year, you know, the cycle after the one. All right, so what else is there? End of year option, okay, that's coming up. Actually, it's not end of the year, it's tomorrow. $10 billion worth of options will expire tomorrow. And not to mention futures. I don't even know the volume of futures. It's always the last Friday of every month, and that happens to be tomorrow. So this could be absolutely huge. Now, the bears that have been getting decimated, they really want to see Bitcoin below 42,000. Okay? That's how they minimize their loss. But if Bitcoin holds above 42 or goes to 43, they will get absolutely wrecked. Okay, so that may be the reason why we're seeing some volatility right now. Why Bitcoin won't go higher than 44,000. Why it's kind of teetering around 42, 43 now, because these bears that have set large amounts of money towards these contracts for the end of year expirations, they may be hurting after tomorrow. So they don't want to be hurting. They don't want to be hurting bad. But that could be a big reason why Bitcoin is not moving up right now. Okay. But regardless of what happens tomorrow, we know that there's so many things coming in 2024. I already mentioned about the quadfecta, but here there's even more. Right? We got the ETF approval. That's just the first week, the first 2 weeks of January. We got the interest rate cut. I don't know about March. I think it's going to start more like June. But yeah, that's in there. You got the halving event in April, right? I didn't even know MiCA laws start also in June in Europe. That's considered a positive thing. You got X and their payment implementation. I don't know if that's August, but I do think it's going to be sometime in 2024. And if that includes crypto integration, crypto wallets, and maybe possibly acceptance of Doge or Bitcoin and Ethereum and others, of course, that's going to be a major catalyst. You have the U.S. elections, of course, that's a major catalyst. Every single election year, markets blow up, right? And then you got the new FASB rules for Bitcoin, which companies can already implement early if they want to, but it's a new accounting. It's the way how companies can account for the Bitcoin on their treasuries. It's just a lot more favorable. Right now, it just kind of sucks, right? So you got a lot of catalysts for 2024, which is why I'm so bullish for next year. Here's something else that's also bullish. If you look at how much Bitcoin is being bought and transferred away from exchanges like Coinbase, for example, it's hard to see because it's not zoomed in. But if you do zoom in, you realize that we had 30,000 Bitcoins. 30,000 Bitcoins leaving Coinbase in the last few days. 30,000. Okay, that's a lot. One of the largest outflows we have seen going all the way back to 2022. Of course, there's been big outflows in 2022, but I mean, these are enormous buys. They're not sells. You know, if you're wondering, oh, doesn't that mean there's people just sold? No, these are actually just being withdrawn from Coinbase, meaning that they're going into a self-custody wallet or a custodian, right? But basically, these big boys, whoever they are, not all of them reveal themselves like MicroStrategy when they make a big purchase. In fact, most do not. What they're doing is buying and accumulating, and they're keeping it a secret. They don't want anyone to know, right? Not everyone's like MicroStrategy. But I think there will be a lot more that reveal themselves in 2024, right? Love to see some of these big tech companies with endless amount of cash just sitting there get involved with Bitcoin, like the likes of Apple and Microsoft. I think they both have, well, Microsoft may not anymore because they spent an enormous amount on Activision Blizzard, but at one point in time, they had over $200 billion in cash. Apple, I still believe, has that, if not like over 300 billion now. Even if one of them just said, hey, you know what, let's put like 10 billion or 20 billion or 30 billion in Bitcoin and hold in our treasuries, just like MicroStrategy, man, that's going to be enormous. It's going to be huge. And, you know, it could happen in 2024. It could happen in 2024. All right. Plan B, stock to flow, showing that Bitcoin, even though we deviated a little bit, we went lower than expected this cycle because we didn't go as high as expected. We're back on track. We're back on track. And according to this, of course, we're going to, first of all, break into where we should have been, which is 100,000. We missed it because I believe the Fed announced rate hikes a little bit early. They needed to because inflation was out of control, but that's what brought Bitcoin down. Otherwise, I think we would have hit 100,000. But anyways, so we're going to hit that mark first, and then we're going to see where this takes us. Because if we're going back on track, by the time we hit the next cycle, we should be nearing, like, I can't really see it, but like somewhere like around $500,000, $600,000, right? That's probably the next cycle. That's when Bitcoin will be equal or bigger than the market cap of gold. That's the next cycle. And Kathy Wood said the same thing. Between $600 to $1.5 million by 2030, right? So we're back on track. We'll see where this takes us. And yeah, I mean, if you're looking at a fractal pattern, this looks pretty darn similar. We're basically mimicking the 2017 cycle or 2016 cycle. Basically, we've broken out of the bottom. We're in recovery. We're getting closer to having an event. And then the parabolic bull run starts, right? I mean, I've shown this before. I don't know how else to be more bullish at this point, right? I guess here's something. If Bitcoin does push above 44.7, remember I've said Bitcoin has a hard time breaking above 44, right? $4 billion of shorts will be liquidated, and we're going to get a massive short squeeze. Remember, the next level to hit is 48,000, right? So if we could break through 44.7, 45, and that could come after tomorrow because tomorrow's that options expiration. So between today and tomorrow, the bears and bulls will probably fight it out, okay? If the bears lose and we break above and then we keep going to 45,000, we'll be at 48,000 in no time because we'll have another 4 billion worth of shorts being liquidated and squeezed, and we'll be right at 48,000, and then we only have a few days left. If we could end the year between $48,000 and $50,000, that would be absolutely amazing. set us up in a really good position for, of course, spot ETF approvals and halving event. All right, and then last few things. Max Kaiser, who's one of the biggest Bitcoin bulls out there and got in very early, he makes a point about looking at a hash rate. Don't concentrate on price, concentrate on hash rate. I've said this too. Bitcoin is the only crypto where price trails the hash rate. It's just that simple. The hash rate always goes up, then the price follows. It has always been the case. With everything else that's still mineable, that's not the case. Hash rate goes up or down dependent on the price. Bitcoin is the only crypto where it's the opposite, because it basically shows that the miners do not care why Bitcoin is up or down. They just know it's the future and they go mine forever. That's really it. And Bitcoin's miners and hash rate just continues to go up and up and up and up and up. They seemingly never come down, right? So basically, what we can learn from this is ignore price, concentrate on the fundamentals. And I've been saying that for a long time. Okay, ignore price, concentrate on the fundamentals. And then you'll be led to the promised land. All right, last few things outside of Bitcoin. Vitalik, a lot of Ethereum, I guess, excitement over the last few days. The Cancun upgrade is coming up, but Vitalik also proposes a new simplified Ethereum proof of stake design, which basically it gets Ethereum closer to some of these other L2s by basically decreasing the number of signatures required to process the transactions. Right now, it's an enormous amount, 28,000 signatures. He wants to decrease that to 8,192 signatures, and he wants to increase the number of ETH required to stake. So rather than 32, you would have to stake 4,096 ETH. That's an enormous amount, but there will only be 4,096 validators. So basically, just like a lot of the other L1s, like Solana and Avalanche and Polygon, they have a lot less validators, right? So basically, he wants to decrease the number of validators that's required, and a number of signatures required to process transactions to make it faster. I don't know if this is going to work. This basically goes in the opposite direction of what people want, which is being more centralized, right? People want to see more decentralization, not more centralization. And this is going the opposite direction. So I think the other proposal that he had, or the other thing that he's working on in terms of just making sharding and using that to increase, speeds and decrease congestion, that seems to be a better way to go. But I don't know. He just proposed it. Doesn't mean that he's serious about it. What else is there? I mean, Ethereum is breaking out. If you're looking at it from a TA perspective, it's breaking out from its resistance, which is good, which is why they're still up today, even though the market is getting a little weak right now. What else? What else is there? BNB. Oh, I noticed BNB is doing pretty well today. Really no reason for it, but I did see this PancakeSwap, the biggest DEX on BNB. They're doing a proposal to cut their supply in half. I don't know if this has anything to do with it, but PancakeSwap is doing well right now, and so is BNB. And that's pretty much it. There's a lot of people spamming friend. All right. Yeah, that's pretty much it. Overall, we got a little weakness today, right? Could be due to that big options and futures expiration tomorrow. The bears do not want Bitcoin above 42,000. They go fight tooth and nail to try to get Bitcoin below 42,000. Okay? If they don't, they're going to get absolutely creamed and crushed and wrecked. So that may be what we're seeing right now, although there are many others that are doing quite well. So, all right, let's do some Q&A. I adjusted my side camera a little bit. Now it's not as washed out, but it's a little dark. I don't know. I'll stick with it until I get like a better camera. All right. Too many people spamming about friend. Everything's about mass crypto. ETH worse? I don't know what to think about them anymore. Hey, Vitalik has a big brain, right? And he just, he just proposing things. He does that all the time. Doesn't mean that he's serious about it, but he's always thinking, he's always trying to improve Ethereum. It's not easy to just do an overhaul or increase speed, right? A lot of these other L1s, L2s, they have the liberty to start from scratch. They learn from others. Ethereum, remember, it came out in like the white paper, I think came out in 2014, 2015, and it was released in 2016. So to redo it takes a lot of effort. Do you think blockchain bets will be allowed freely trade or come under fire from regulators? I don't know. Andrew, I've never heard of blockchain bets before. If it's like Wall Street bets, I don't know. It sounds like it. GambleFi, I think GambleFi is going to be very iffy in crypto because there are a lot of countries that do not allow gambling without, being regulated. Or they just don't allow it. So I'm not a big fan of gambling. GambleFi. What do you think about a new Solana meme coin? Right now, with Solana taking a breather, I don't think any of the memes are going to do well. Okay? I mean, just look at how ANOLS got crushed. So right now, let Solana find its bottom, consolidate, and then come back up. And then once it gets hot again, then these memes will start going upwards. Do you think, Sub is asking, do you think Cock is done? What can they do to save it? Right now, no. I think a lot of the weakness, again, is due to, just like Solana, Avalanche. Avalanche is showing some weakness right now. And that's because they started, since October, they've just been really, really, really hot. Right now, it's cooling off. And whenever it cools off, especially with meme holders, they just panic and they just keep dumping, right? Because everyone's trying to ride the top. And then, they panic and they sell off. So I think when Avalanche comes back, they will come back too. Let's see. Kieran Network, future DeFi, better than Celestia, gained 1,400%. Yeah, it's probably because it's very, 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 very low. Very low. That's how I could do that. Yeah, it's like 4 million. I'm going to wait until it gets a little bit bigger. Jim is asking me to give a shout out to my daughter, Cecilia. I've been teaching her crypto. Awesome. Glad to hear it, Cecilia. No, I'm not going to check out friend. Fame AI allows you to create your own AI influencer to capitalize off the trend. What do you think about the concept? I don't know. Crypto Crow also has something like that. He has a project called Eternalize AI. And he did something for me already, but I haven't really touched it yet. So I don't know. These AI generated influencer things, they're just not quite there yet. Maybe in a few years when you really can't tell if something's AI generated or not, then I'll get more behind it. But right now, it's just far behind. I don't know if you guys noticed my thumbnail. My thumbnail was mostly AI generated. My clothes, I was wearing like a sport jacket. That's completely AI generated. There are some AI tools that are like you can't tell. You cannot tell it's AI generated. But like for I don't know, for social media it's just not there yet. Babel is looking to be the Netflix of blockchain, bring movie, series, animation. Randy, that's a good goal, but it's not going to happen. I'm sorry. SCR George, if you're starting a project, what blockchain would you choose to run on? To be totally honest, I would probably choose either Solana or Avalanche. I mean, they're the two hottest. They were the two hottest. I still think they're going to be hottest in 2024. But yeah, if I was choosing, I would choose one of them. Avalanche, you would have to do a sub chain, right? A subnet, which is fine. And Solana, you just program on Solana. The market cap for Akira is incorrect. It's 68 million. Well, that's a big difference. They need to change that. All right, I'll put on my radar and look at it later. I was wondering if you have an opinion on LimeWire. Anything that's like torrent related, I'm just not a fan. You know, for obvious reasons. And there's no reason for this. Just kind of like there was no reason for BitTorrent to come up with a token too, and then they sold out to Justin Sun, and then the founder started bashing him and stuff. I mean, like, he asked for it. He didn't have to sell, right? There's no reason for this. What was the first coin that sent you to the stratosphere? Like, you were able to quit a job or buy a vehicle. I need XRP or Sol E to do it. No, it wasn't one thing, man. Red Star, it wasn't one thing. It was the cumulative of years of my entire portfolio. Not just like, it wasn't just like, oh, you know, ETH or Sol pumped up and now I could use that to retire. No. And if you're trying to aim for that, it's just way too hard. It has to be accumulation of DCing for years in order for that to happen. Unless you're just lucky and you like rode Pepe or Bonk to the top from like $1, you know, or something like that. But that happens very, very little. My voice now sounds like it's AI generated. I tried a lot of the AI voice generators. They can't get my voice right. Like the way I speak is just too different. Like they can't replicate it. I tried a lot of them. Brian, I appreciate that. Yeah, you know, hopefully no one is panicking over the Sol dump right now. Okay, the market is a little bit weaker right now, and a lot of people are taking profits based on their biggest winners because they're like afraid, and it makes sense, right? But you know, let's not forget that year to date, Sol's up 890%. Okay, so last 60 days up 200% versus 20% for Bitcoin. So Avalanche up 254% in the last 60 days versus 20% for Bitcoin. So For people that are panicking about Sol or Avalanche, please don't. They have come up a lot, very fast. Now people are taking profits because they sense some weakness and they're like, oh no, I need to sell. But they will come back. They will come back, be as strong as ever. And it's the same thing. I've been saying the same thing about so many others. Okay? As long as the projects themselves continue to build and execute and form partnerships and everything else that they're doing conferences and networking, and they're getting out there and staying active on socials, right? They will come back strong. They'll come back stronger and form new highs in 2024, 2025. I do think right now what's happening with Bitcoin has a lot to do with tomorrow, with the options expirations. So basically, the bears don't want Bitcoin to be above 42,000. If it does, they're going to get really wrecked. So they don't want that to happen. But, can they actually hold the market down? Do they have enough firepower? Right now, it looks like no, but we'll see. We got one more day left. What's up with my voice? I'm sick. I don't know what's up with my voice other than I'm sick. If you can't figure that out, I don't know. No, because I'm using an AI generator right now. I'm not actually here. Or this is a prequel to my OnlyFans. Moby, welcome. Just FYI, all the people that are trying to show friend, I'm putting all you guys in 10-minute timeout. And if you continue to do it, you will all get banned from this channel. Just giving you guys a heads up. Lazaro, do you hold any near? And can they do a 15x? They could do a 15x. And I don't hold any near. The reason why I have a side view is because I have a monitor for all the Q&A. So it's easier for me to look here and answer questions, right? Rather than look here and then, have a side view. So this makes more sense. But this camera, I don't know why. My old studio, the lighting was fine. Now I have to adjust the lighting. It's a little dark, but I'll get that fixed one way or another. What do you think about the new Gala music? Only 6 million market cap, has been out for 2 weeks. I would stay far away from that, honestly. It's a distraction. There's no need for a new coin. Gala itself needs some help right now. And that lawsuit between the founders suck. They need to end that first, instead of trying to push out a new coin and a new thing. I thought Gala music was just the extension of Gala, and they could use the same tokens, but I didn't even know that they pushed out a new coin. That just sounds like a horrible idea. Driver Eddie is asking, what's up with Litecoin? There's nothing up with Litecoin. It's not something that you should hold. Bitcoin is better than Bitcoin is better than Litecoin in every single measurable way. There's zero reasons to hold Litecoin, so I don't know why. Clark Kent, just because you send a super chat does not mean you're not gonna get timed out, man. My Blue Vine kicked me because of Coinbase. I don't get what that means. Does BAT utilize both ETH and SOL? And what do you think the overall benefit of Brave and a BAT token? I think the BAT token is a failed experiment, to be honest. But Brave itself, the browser, is a winner. It's really good. In fact, I'm using a Brave browser right now. But BAT was created to be a digital advertising token, incentive token for creators, and just no one is really using it. You can still get rewarded, but I don't know. Maybe it's not failed. I mean, it's still a couple 100 million market cap, but it's definitely not taking down Google AdWords. Yeah, 381 million. Zen Crypto suing OKX for trademark infringement on the X1 blockchain. Okay, thanks for sharing. Everyone thought 100K failed now ETF buy dips. Okay, thanks. Have you changed your mind on liquid finance yet, or at least looked into them? Real gem, best lending tech. You the man. I had not had time to look at them, but it sounds like, sounds like they're like competing with a whole bunch of others. Okay, come on. Stop trying to shill whatever project that's under 2 million market cap. Actually, this is really bad because it looks like it's small, but the fully diluted market cap is 75 million. They have 1.74 of the total supply released right now. That's horrible. That's horrible. And this is on Cardano. But that's, from a token economic standpoint, that's just really deceiving. There's probably a good reason for it, but yeah, don't let that fool you. They're actually much bigger, or they're going to be really diluted when they release the rest of those tokens. Not saying Litecoin is better than Bitcoin. I guess I don't understand real world application of a coin don't reflect the price. I would think LTC activity more price increase. Not really. You could have a whole bunch of transactions happen, but therefore selling or just moving between wallets. A lot of people use Litecoin to move between wallets and move between exchanges, but that doesn't really mean that they keep it, because if they buy Litecoin, they transfer and they sell it, that's not go. The only thing that makes price go up are people buying and holding. That's it. You just got to realize that's the only thing that makes price go up. Transactions do not. You have to give people a reason to buy and hold. And there's no good reason for Litecoin. Because if you're looking for a store of value, you're looking for something that will outperform inflation and be a store of value, Bitcoin's better than Litecoin. There's no reason to hold Litecoin. There's zero. Bluevine and other virtual banks shut your account down. Robinhood tolerated, not Coinbase. How to buy crypto from banks, PayPal. I don't know what you're talking about. Just are you banned from Coinbase or Robinhood or Gemini? I don't know what your question is. Just sign up to one of them and buy it, Dimitri. I'm not sure what your question is. why everyone's starting to talk about LTO network. I covered them before. They just went all over the place. Um, they were like a B2B play. I interviewed a founder. I forgot his name, and he's a lawyer, and he created LTO network to be compliant with a lot of regulations, and also it was supposed to help businesses get onboarded to blockchain. And then they told me that they were doing something like they want to transition to like more of a NFT platform or something like that. And I got so turned off by it. I'm like, what are you guys talking about? I don't know if they ever did that or they're still being B2B. Like, it was just weird. Yeah, and it still sounds like that's what they're doing, but now this yeah, Rick, I did interview him before. This is years ago. This is like 20, I don't know, it was 2020 or 2018 or something like that. But it was weird that they were trying to push some NFTs or something, and I don't know. Maybe they dropped that idea, but I don't know if they're gonna come back, to be honest. And Larry is saying, yo, I think he's referring to a rash of posts out there. People saying they're starting to have problems moving cash from banks to crypto exchanges. I don't know. I don't think anyone's having problems right now with Robinhood or Coinbase, unless you guys are telling me. But there are a lot of banks that still do not like crypto, so they will try to ban it. But I don't know. There will always be some that allow it because they want to make more money. Why would they try to stop something they really can't stop? Someone says Scale is doing good. I covered Scale last night. Another layer 2 solution, quite promising. Feeless, still quite small at 426 million. A lot of people have been asking about Midas too, and I just realized that they're also a layer 2. So they were up yesterday, dropped down a little bit today, but a lot of people have been asking about that. Relatively small. And I guess Vitalik's mom is associated with this one. I have to do more research into it. What do you think about CDT? I have no idea what CDT is. Check dot. Pretty small, under 10 million. Ultimate tool that combines DeFi solutions and utility. Get insured. Yeah. I don't trust any insurance companies in crypto, and nor should anyone else. If there's a big hack, there's a big vulnerability, they're not going to be able to cover it. No way they can. So the answer is no. What exactly are layer 1s, 2s, and 3s? Layer 1s are base chains like Solana and Ethereum. Layer 2s are extension of a base chain. Like Optimism, Arbitrum are extensions of Ethereum. That's why they're layer 2s. Now you can have extensions of layer 2s called layer 3s. There are subchains that are coming out on Arbitrum. That's utilizing, I guess, the security of Arbitrum and the code base, whatever. I don't even really know what they're sharing, but that's the difference. And there are layer 0s, which are basically, they're not chains, but they're just like the underlying support layer for chains. Like Avalanche is kind of like a layer 0. Cosmos is a layer 0. So there's actually, layer 3s are new. They just came out. Arbitrum just kind of like invented it. No one else, there's no other layer 3. It's really layer 0, 1, and 2. Look at that. Sol is right back to 100. All right, guys. I'm going to let you guys go. My voice, I'm starting to lose my voice. Overall, 2024 is going to be a fantastic year. Brace yourselves, guys, even though there may be a little volatility, a little weakness right now. Don't let that scare you. 2024 is going to be absolutely fantastic. There's nothing that's going to stop that. So continue to do what you're doing. DCA, hodl, accumulate. And I'll see you guys tonight, 8:30 p.m. Central Standard Time. All right? Have a good one, guys. Take care.